If you landed on today's video, then you must be an aspiring social media manager or somewhat interested in the role. Now, you've researched all over the internet what a social media manager actually does, but it probably left you more confused than anything, and I don't blame you because this role has dramatically evolved over the past years. As someone who started out as a social media manager and currently positions herself as a fractional CMO, I'm going to give you the answer today on what a social media manager actually does in 2025. Hey, my name is Mel and I own a $500,000 social media marketing agency, and I now help social media managers do the same. If you want to know how you can start landing high-paying clients as a social media manager, then make sure you take the quiz that will help you get there. Now, let's dive in. The first thing a social media manager does is create a roadmap. Now, as the social media manager, there is no one in your team or with your client who spends more time on social media than you. You are the person that's actually inside of the accounts every single day. And so you're responsible for creating what I would like to call a roadmap on what actually gets posted on different platforms. Now, in order to even come up with that and know what to post, you need to be aware of the algorithms, staying up to date with changes. You need to spend a lot of time in the platforms to see what content is performing and test and experiment a ton on different platforms. And so with that being said, your role as social media manager entails strategy. Now, in the past, we really separated social media managers and social media strategists, but in my opinion, you need some basic foundational level of strategy in order to be a good social media manager. So now, generally speaking, social media managers who are responsible for organic social media channels and posting organic content, which doesn't involve ad spend or other marketing channels, the main goal of social media for any brand is typically brand awareness. Now, while social media can drive leads and results and a lot more things than just brand awareness, the main goal really is brand awareness, to get in front of more people, new people, getting your name out there. And so that is the main goal you're basing this roadmap off. You cannot create content without knowing your clients or your job, the brands that you work for, their goals, right? So start with goals and start coming up with the types of content you guys can start posting on social media. And this may look different for different platforms as well. If you want to dive more into the strategy side of things, I do have a separate video where I will break down what an actual strategy looks like, and it might be helpful after you finish this video. Now, the second thing you will be doing as a social media manager is to create content. Now, while the roles as a social media manager will vary so much from company to company, from client to client, whatever role you take on, there will be some level of creating content. And that doesn't mean you're a graphic designer, that doesn't mean you're a video editor and all of those things, but there is a part of you that is a content creator. So in order to do that today, there are so many apps that will actually help you do that so that you don't need to be a specialist or professional designer or professional editor. And so, for example, we have apps like CapCut that can help you create engaging social media videos without doing the heavy lifting or the heavy editing. They will have templates, and there's many more apps like it out there that you can use as well. When it comes to graphic design, you can use tools like Adobe Express that have a ton of templates that you can customize to your clients in the brand's colors, their branding, and all of that good stuff. And so you need to be aware that you are going to be creating content. And when you're in-house with a company, that may even look like filming some content. Again, nowadays with social media, you don't have to be a videographer or a full-on production team, but creating fun and engaging content with your clients on site is then a must if they aren't doing it themselves. So also to give you a bit of insights, with my agency, we work fully remote and we aren't actually on site with the clients. So we'll either guide them with the process, we will recommend for them to hire either a photographer to get content or record video themselves using their iPhone or their camera, but we will guide them in the entire process. And so again, this is not done from scratch. If you are within a company, you likely will have a marketing team that supports you, whether it's a graphic designer that helps you create things based on your roadmap and based on your ideas. But if you're a freelancer, there's usually a higher expectation for you to cover multiple roles within their budgets. That is not necessarily a bad thing, because if you do have multiple skill sets, you can actually charge more money. But that doesn't mean you need to be a pro in every single role. But if you do happen to do that, that's a bonus. Make sure sure you charge for it so that you're not stretched thin as someone who pays you for being one person but expected to be 5 different roles. Now, the fourth and final and probably most important thing a social media manager does is manage the community. Now, this is really where the manager in social media manager stands for, and that comes down to managing the social media online community. So what does that entail? That is really you responding and engaging with people that are engaging with the content and with the brand, whether it's comments, whether it's story replies, DMs. You want to be in there and having those conversations because it's so valuable for a brand to get that feedback from their audience and for you to know what kind of content resonated with them and should we be creating more of. So like I mentioned in a previous point, no one will spend more time inside of these social media accounts than you. And so there's all this feedback you can gather, whether it's comments people leave based on the service or the product the brand sells, whether it's, insights on a post that is very relatable. Take those screenshots and bring it back for feedback and insights to the team so that you guys can use this for future content to improve the product and services and all of that good stuff. But the foundational and minimum level of community management you will do is responding to the community, which we also call inbound engagement. Now, if you want to be an overachiever and really take the results next level, you will be spending time on outbound engagement, which really means you're going out of your way to interact with people that might be interested in the brand or the services they offer. But this is still a big part of getting the client the results. And so these roles all kind of overlap. So now this will wrap up my video on what a social media manager actually does in 2025. The biggest change we've seen is that strategy skills are part of that foundation of being a great social media manager. And as the expectations are higher and higher each year from a social media manager, this role has really transitioned into becoming that social media strategist, and even to the level of where I've now positioned myself as a fractional CMO. But as you adapt into this role, you will see that a lot of these skill sets kind of overlap within your role, and you will get better at each area. And you can even decide for yourself to specialize in one area over the other. Now, I hope you found this helpful. Make sure you comment below if you did, and I will see you in next week's video.